Less casual gaming. The less casual gaming. The less casual gaming. The less casual gaming.
Hello, you are listening to Thoughtless Casual Gaming. This is episode 7 of our Blood Bowl breakdown. And today we are dealing with Norse.
We don't get nice. We get Norse. If only we needed a musical interlude for this, because there is an amazing epic rap battle of history, which is like Thor versus... Anyway, it's good. Go back. Find that one. That line is in it. It's one of their best.
Yeah, chuck it at the end.
That is not what we're here to talk about.
Okay. Crack a beer. We are going to talk about Norse and their beer drinking ways.
So
what is
Norse teams? Norse teams enjoy nothing more than a good scrap, and that's certainly how they perform their best on the pitch. Norskins have spent their entire lives in a harsh, freezing north, making them quite a tough punch. These hardened players excel in getting up close and personal with the opposition, throwing blocks left and right as they mercilessly hammer their way to the end zone, and no doubt to the tavern that lies beyond. Of course, it's not only about causing a punch-up in the middle of the gridiron. There's also the small matter of scoring. Well, there's also the very small matter of scoring that these all-important touchdowns. Norse teams work best when they can use their abundance of hitting power to punch a hole in the opposition's defense and then allow the Valkyries to use their impressive speed to run right through and claim victory.
Victory! So there's probably a quote that not many people are going to get. But anyway, so the Norse team. 0 to 16, Norse Raider linemen, 50,000 each. Movement 6, Strength 3, Edge 3+, Passing 4+, Armor value 8+, with Block, Drunkard, and Thick Skull. 0 to 2, Beer Boars, 20,000 each. Movement 5, Strength 1, Edge 3+, no passing. 6+ armor value, dodge, no hands, pick me up, stunty, and titchy. 0 to 2 Norse Berserkers, 90,000 each. Movement 6, strength 3, edge 3+, passing 5+, armor value 8+, block, frenzy, jump up. 0 to 2 Valkyries, 95,000 each. Movement 7, strength 3, edge 3+, passing 3+, armor value 8+, catch, dauntless, pass, strip ball. 0 to 2 Ulf Werners, 105,000 each. Movement 6, strength 4, edge 4+, no passing, armor value 9+, and frenzy. And 0 to 1 Yeti, 140,000, movement 5, strength 5, edge 4+, no passing, and 9+ armor value, with claws, disturbing presence, frenzy, loner 4+, and unchanneled fury. They can have 0 to 8 rerolls at 60,000 gold each. They are a tier 1, and they can take an apothecary. So just reading through that, for your regular Blood Bowl players, there are 2 skills in there that have never been seen before.
Drunkard and Pick Me Up.
Yes, so Drunkard. Let's go that one first. This player suffers a -1 penalty to the dice roll when attempting to rush.
Yeah, so this is on the Norse Raider linemen,
Mm-hmm.
and it basically means that they've got movement 6. If you want to rush, go for it, call it what you will. It's now a 3+ roll.
Yeah. So just 1 extra. How hard can that be?
Yeah.
The other one, pick me up on the Beer Boars. So at the end of the opposition's team turn, roll a d6 for each prone, non-stunned teammate within 3 squares of a standing player with this trait, which is a Beer Ball. On a 5+, the prone player may immediately stand up. So with the Norse team, this is the newest team on the block, and it's obviously got a couple of new skills which people need to get their head around. So shall we jump right into the pros and cons here?
My God, are there cons, because this team is bullshit amazing. I mean, yeah,
Pros
let's look at that.
or cons? Well, there
No,
is a bit of both.
there's look cons. The con, armor 8
Yes.
on most of your players. That is fundamentally the problem here. For
9
a
plus
team,
is the biggest armor you've got, and that's on your big strength
Yeah.
4 guys and your big guy.
Yeti, yeah, and that's only a 9. Where you're talking 8s for most of your important players, and on a team that is a pretty bash team,
Mhm.
like they all come equipped with some pretty cool bash skills. You're going to fight their things, and they're going to hit you back, and you don't have a lot. You're wearing your jocks. Like there ain't a lot between you and the Black Hawk in front of you.
Look, this is what they refer to as a glass cannon team. So it can hit hard, but it will, under the right circumstances, it will crumble as well. But that has to be the right circumstances. Your opponent has to roll those dice. So armor value, obviously a con. Drunkard is a con.
Yeah, absolutely is.
It really means, I mean, you're going for it on a normal 2+. That's something that you can do under a lot of circumstances. That 2+ becoming a 3+ is more than that extra one. I mean, that
You are.
we've all had go for it fail when you're going into the end zone. You roll that one, you re-roll it, and get another one.
You're not supposed to get those. They're not supposed to work. But I think fundamentally though is with a regular rush or a regular go for it and a 2+, it's almost a done deal. You can roll. You don't roll them willy nilly. You don't push them if you don't need them, but they're relatively safe. The second you move that to a 3+, and the potential of putting down an armor 8 guy, he's going to trip and he's going to hurt himself. And it's going to cause a turnover. You're basically not rushing with these guys unless you are desperate.
Yeah,
So
their movement 6 is staying generally at a movement 6.
Yep. You know, they don't have the option of movement 8. They're movement 7 at a pinch if you're willing to really pucker up and give it a go. But that's it. So just don't do it. Don't do it.
I mean, that's just your lineman, but still, that's your majority of your team in most circumstances. The other one, Frenzy. It's a pro and a con.
But mainly a pro.
Mainly a pro, but we've talked about in the past. Frenzy, when not used right, can really get you in some tight scenarios.
And you've got this fun piece where you've potentially got 5 pieces on the board that have Frenzy. That is a lot of extra math, extra thinking about where things are going to be the next time that they block, making sure there are supports there, all that kind of jazz. So there is an extra mental overhead when you're trying to manage that extra piece. I mean, the good news is the Berserkers come with block and frenzy, and the Ulfwerners are strength 4. And the Yetis are Yeti, so who cares? So they all have some way to help mitigate frenzy inbuilt, but that doesn't stop dice going pear-shaped. It doesn't stop uphill dice showing skulls. What it does do, though, is give you additional hitting power. It gives you additional board control, because your ability to push people off the pitch from further in is very much there. It's additional way to open up opportunities, but there is the extra mental overhead of managing all of that you need to take into account.
Yeah. Like that frenzy and frenzying somebody off the pitch that was 2 squares away is a fantastic feeling. But if you're not blitzing on that frenzy hit, then you're next to the pitch.
Yeah.
End of the pitch.
And then
so you've got that risk.
Yeah, so you end up on the edge of the pitch, and then they push you off, and then you need to push them off. And
it's a
the good news
vicious
here
cycle.
It's the cycle that you want to play, unless you're playing Khorne, who have more frenzy than you and will do it better. But everybody else, you basically win that game.
Yeah. Look,
It is a good feeling, though.
Oh yeah.
Some would say it's more than a feeling. Anyway, more pros and cons.
So pros. Your awful owners. Your 4 strength frenzy guys. That's huge. You know, frenzy with a 4 strength guy is fantastic. I mean, we know we haven't talked about, but Corn. We have talked about Corn. I'm losing track.
If we
now.
don't, I don't.
I don't know. Anyway, Corn have the same
The
sort of
Bloodseekers.
pieces. The Bloodseekers. They are fantastic.
Yeah.
Your Berserker, he's still strength 3, but he's got block, he's got frenzy, and he's got jump up.
He's got jump up. So
Which
when he
means-
does fall down,
Which will happen.
there's 2 parts to this, right? So he frenzy blocks someone, eventually falls down. Who cares? Because either a beer ball picks him up and it doesn't matter, or he jumps up and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's such a good just to have, especially because movement 6, he's still getting around the place.
Mhm.
So to be able to still block from being on the ground, or to be able to blitz and still do stuff, or to be able to just do stuff. You're not taking, you're effectively halving his movement if he didn't have jump up. That extra utility goes such a long way.
And that jump up, being able to use jump up to be on the floor next to somebody who's just knocked you down, jump up, hit them, and it's not counted as your blitz. It's huge. That gives you more punching opportunity.
Yeah. And this team is about maximizing the hits, and you're going to get hit back and you're going to end up on the floor. So this just keeps you maximizing the hits. You basically get 2 hits from that that most people would not have got, because they're not going to use their blitz to do it. They're going to stand up a dude, and that's going to be their turn. So it just, again, it keeps you maximizing the damage output, which you need, because you want to play numbers games. You want to get ahead.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's talk to beer boars. So they're an interesting position.
And these are the new ones, right? These were never
Yep.
in the original team of Legends. These are the ones, these are the screw you third-party Blood Bowl teams.
Exactly.
We're going to introduce something you don't have.
This is
20K.
one step up from the chameleon skink.
Yeah. So it's an interesting piece, right? It's a snotling with no hands and the fun little new pick-me-up rule. So there's real pros and cons to this piece. They don't get any skills on a primary either. They only get skills in a secondary. You're never skilling these guys up. Don't do it. It's silly. They can't touch the ball. Bad luck. So there's
they're not there to touch the ball. They're carrying a huge barrel of beer on their back.
But I mean, to be honest, if I could, I would try and score with a beer ball. I think that there's 2 things that these guys do well. One is free stand-ups on a team where you don't want to be laying on the ground. That is good. It is a passive skill. It is not the reason that you're taking them. It is just an extra bonus that you're going to get, I think. Yeah. I wouldn't be relying on a 5-up.
No.
But
it's going to happen every now and then, but it's not something that's going to happen every turn. They've got to be within 3 squares, which is a decent amount. It's like, let's not sneeze at a 3 square radius. But it's a 5+. I mean,
yeah. We're not banking on it. No. But we just talked about frenzy. We just talked about trying to manage that with supports and making sure you're not putting guys in bad spots. And what we've got is an Edge 3+ stunty titchy dodge piece that still gives supports. So for 20k, you have someone who can follow your little frenzy berserker around, get into that awkward spot that no one else can get to. So when he does get the push on his first frenzy piece, he's still got someone cancelling out all those extra supports, and he's at least 1 dicing with block. I think that is the sneaky little piece that they do really, really well. Just as a support. Also, you've got armor 8. You're not going to have all your players on the pitch for a lot of the time. Having an extra player because they're cheap on the bench that you can just bring out and have on there to fill up numbers so you aren't completely outgunned. They still have tackle zones. People still have to dodge away from them or hit them. They're an annoyance. So, yeah, they don't cost a lot. They're going to get smushed, but equally, they keep your numbers up. They give you supports. They might do the occasional pick-me-up. They're handy. Look, if we're playing 7s really quickly, we're never taking them. It's just not happening. But if we're playing 11s, you can afford them. And there's actually probably some really good cases to take them.
Look, that 20k means that, like, if you have a team in mind which, you know, you're struggling to get that extra positional into your 100 or your million gold, just taking a beer bore as a character, you know, if you're taking 11 players and a beer bore is one of them, you've got extra money to spend on those more expensive guys.
So, and the other one is, right, and I can't take credit for this because Bonehead completely gave this away and I'm just stealing their brilliant ideas or whatever they stole from the internet. I don't know. So this I can't steal, right? But if we want to take the Yeti as a starting place and we can't afford all our positionals, what we could do is put a beer ball in the roster. You put him on the line. You do whatever. He gets smushed. You get a free lineman who costs 50k to replace him, who was a 20k model. So in your next game, you're actually up. If we're playing, we start talking leagues. So
you can always fire the beer bore after the first game.
Yeah, you got to get a lineman.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you've got a 50k player replacing a 20k player. But it also means that you can max out your roster with the big guys and you fill with the beer bores, or at least 2 of them, which saves you a bucket of money, which means you're buying your other positionals faster.
Yep. Absolutely. That's probably, they're your two benefits to having what is effectively a snotling on a Norse team. Unless it's snotling.
Absolutely. Also, you get to put a little beer pig on the table. There is some epicness to be said with that. Like, that is cool.
But the model's amazing. The model is so huge.
Awesome. I think for the free assists, that's probably the reason I'm taking him. The fact I get a bench and I don't necessarily have all my players off the pitch. Because again, you want to play numbers with this game. The numbers game with this team. If you start getting outnumbered with armor 8, you're going to get outgunned pretty quickly. So you want to hit fast and you want to make sure that you're staying ahead. And if that means bringing the little bore onto the table just to tag someone, sure, he'll get hit, but he's going to annoy someone or to give some assists. He's going to do the job.
Yeah, exactly. Last one, I want to talk about the Valkyrie. So the Valkyrie is kind of like a combination thrower-catcher.
These are maybe the greatest positional ever made.
So they come with catch and pass.
I love these. Catch, pass, dauntless, and strip ball. These are every single positional rolled into one. They get general on a primary skill, so you give them block, or you can give them wrestle and make them a pure ball sacker, or you can give them dodge and you can make them a runner. Like, what can they not do?
They get agility, general, or passing on a primary.
Yep.
It's just nuts.
So, you know what? They're not playing guard. They're not a guard piece. Because realistically, if you got the secondary, you would probably just take a primary instead.
These are going to be your scorers. Movement 7, which, with a couple of decent go for it, is movement 9, 3+ passing, 3+ picking up the ball, 3+ catching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a 3+ catch with catch. It's a 3+ pass with pass.
Yeah.
So you're doing okay. Dauntless means they can punch above their weight. So if somebody does start to tag them and you need to blitz out, you can. At least with 1 dice, which is a good thing. You don't have any like punch skills really to start with apart from that. But again, Dauntless strip ball means that you can be a sweeper. You can hold them back in defense, and they're still really useful because that the gutter runner gets past you, and even on a push, you're just taking the ball off him. That is the best thing in the world.
Yeah. I want to see
I
more
may be
strip
in
ball.
love. These models, like it, I legitimately have ummed and ahed over buying this team so much, and it is primarily because of the Valkyries. They are everything.
I might have slipped and tripped and fallen over a box recently myself. Look, Norse are a decent team. You're punching, you're hitting into the opponents. You've got a bit of everything. There's the only other con really to this team is that there is so much going on. Like every character has got something going on that might not be the easiest team to master as a first team. But
Yep.
Once you get the hang of things and know that different positionals will have different skills and different opportunities. Once you get your head around that sort of thing, Norse is tier 1 for a reason.
Yeah. Look, and there are going to be those games that people just break the shit out of your armor and you don't have a lot of players. That's going to happen.
Yeah, that's pretty much going to happen with everyone apart from dwarves, really.
I feel like this is probably more
probably
than
more.
that.
Yes, true.
But they do what they do so well. So if you can get your head around this team, they are pretty amazing. I honestly, I'm looking at it going there. Armor 8 is the con, and it needed to be the con because otherwise these guys would be way too good. And even just the cost, right? If we go through and look at as an example, the Valkyrie as a human, so Edge 3, movement 7, catch Dauntless Pass triple at 95k. If I compare that to something like a Union catcher, catch Nervous Steel, they have an extra point of edge and an extra point of movement. I don't know which is the better player. I feel like you compare that to a human catcher, which is 65k. So they're allowed to be shit. They aren't. But I just feel like for what you get, that they are a bargain basement piece. So yeah, they do a lot good. But let's talk teams. We're putting a team together.
Well, I mean, let's talk 11s first off. There's a couple of pretty stock standard starting rosters. So you can get 5 Norse linemen, 2 Berserkers, 2 Valkyries, 2 Ulfwinners, and Apothecary, 2 rerolls. And that's $1 million gold.
Yep.
Straight off the bat. If you want to go a little bit harder hitting, you can get 6 linemen, 2 Valkyries, 2 Ulfwinners, 2 Beer Boars, and the Yeti, plus 2 rerolls, and that's $1 million as well. So putting those beer boars in there allows you to get the extra money for the Yeti, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think your first question there is, do you want the big guy or not?
Yeah.
I mean, that is not just this team where you have that challenge, right? So that's your first question. Do you want to put the big guy in there? The second one is probably rerolls. If we're talking 11s, I would say perfect world, I would like 3 with this team. It's edge 3 for your best stuff. That is generally take your edge as your number of rerolls needed. Edge 3, you want 3. Edge 2, you need 2. It's pretty safe, right? It flexes a little bit, but that's a good starting piece. But you could get away with 2 if you play them well. And I think this actually probably plays into why they're also not maybe the best starting team, because you're also dealing with Frenzy. You're also dealing with a bunch of, that other stuff, maybe with not the full contingent of rerolls that you would like.
Yeah. So ignoring rerolls, sevens. I mean, we've already
Oh.
said don't take the Bibor. Bibor as one of your 4 positionals, he doesn't give you
No.
really the benefits that you need. That 5+ pick me up, we've already said we're not relying on it. The 20,000 cost for allowing you to get your bigger stuff, you don't need it. Because I mean, I think it worked it out. 595 can give you the 4 most expensive positionals and 3 others. So I mean, yeah. So that gives you Yeti, 2 of the strength 4 guys, and a Valkyrie.
Yeah.
So you can fit it all in. 600k is enough to get you the sevens team that you want, and you definitely don't need the boar.
No. You take. I mean, do you take the Yeti or not? There's your question, and then it's you put in your favorite positions.
Yeah.
I don't care which they are, and then you fill with linemen. Do you take 2 of the Ulfwerners, a Berserker and a Valkyrie? Do you go, the Valkyries are ridiculous, I'll take 2 of those. And again, pick your hitters. There is
You can do it.
You can do whatever the hell you want, and that is probably the bane and the joy of this team. You can do pretty much whatever you want. I'm just playing with teams here. If you take a beer boy over a lineman in 11s, you can take whatever you want. And if you don't take the Yeti, you take whatever you want. You go to 7s, just pick your positions. It's glorious.
I mean,
so good.
They're a tier 1 team, but they're very much a tier 1 team in 7s as well. The most recent tournament that we ran was a week after they came out, and Yelf took them and came second. He lost his first game to Skaven 2-1 and crushed it in the next 3.
Yeah,
he came second overall.
And look, I feel like this is very much one of those teams that is tier 1 in the hands of a good player. And there's probably people who have picked him up after listening to idiots like me gloat about them on the internet, going, oh, these guys are amazing. I'm going to take them and win games, and not win games and wonder what the hell I'm talking about. Look, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. However, these guys are amazing in the hands of a good player.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about getting your head around what those skills allow you to do, because they allow you to do a lot. You just got to know when to use them.
Also, the models are possibly the best looking Blood Bowl team that GW have released.
Yep. I am very fond of these. And there are GW teams that I love, and there are GW teams that I hate. And there's usually a little bit of both. A little from column A, a little from column B in each team.
Yep.
These guys, like I've assembled 6 of my guys so far, and they are just outstanding. I mean, there's this guy, a lineman, and he's holding a spilling tankard of beer or whatever liquid of choice you want it to be. And then there's the Techno Viking model, which is just outstanding. Plus the beer boys.
And there are, if you don't like them for whatever reason, or you don't want to have them for whatever reason, there are so many options. The Grebo Norse team, gorgeous. Pungra have done one. There's a lot of those out there. So you've got options as well. They're one of those teams that have been around for a while. So, there are options out there for you. They're pretty. They're really pretty. They play really, really well. I feel like they would be redonkulous, and I really want them. If we've done nothing else this episode, it's convinced me that I definitely need to purchase them. It's just
you need another Blood Bowl team.
Shh, that's not the point.
Anyway.
Which team?
Norse.
Yeah, but which Norse team?
We're fond of them. We're fond of them.
They're good.
Why not all?
There is also that.
But that's pretty much about it from me.
Yeah, that's all I got. So, as per usual, do us the follows and the likes. Ring the bell, like and subscribe. You can find us on all of the things. I added us to actually, as a complete aside, to some more podcasting things. So we're available on more podcast type services that I didn't know existed until Podbean told me that they existed and that we should link to it. And I said, yes, we should.
Well, welcome
YouTube,
anybody
Twitch.
that's listening from some bizarre
I
podcasting
don't know
that
what
I've never heard of.
They just said, do you want to, also be listed on it? And I said, yes. But, the important ones really, if you want to talk to us on Facebook, talk to us, join the Discord, talk to us there. We will definitely talk to you there. There is a Patreon. You can join the Patreon. You could give us money. We will give it back in the form of prizes. So that is a thing that if you want to get involved, you can. Importantly, when we're talking about Blood Bowl, there is, and you're in the Geelong region, there is a season about to finish, which means there is a new season of Blood Bowl 7s about to start that you could get involved in. So if you're keen on trying out Norse or any of the teams available, really, I don't care, play what you want. You could. It's going to kick off in the not too distant future after we finalize the finals.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes. There's one big night of finals coming up. But yeah, by all means, join us, play some Blood Bowl. We play for fun. It's all shits and giggles, really. So if you want to play Norse, by all means.
Hopefully
And
more
why
giggles
wouldn't
than
you?
shits, really. I was just
Well,
thinking
yeah.
about that. I hope it's not. Is it shits and giggles at the same time?
Well, that's always
I
fun.
hope they're in different locations. Anywho, as long as I don't have to clean it up. That's why we play it through the dice. Rich has to clean it up. We can
Done.
do all the shits and giggles that we like.
Oh, dear. On that note, laters.
Gotcha.
How dare you challenge my immortal throne? I'm a father of the god, put your daddy on the phone. Maybe Odin could beg me for a truce, cause when Zeus lets loose, I'll put your cross right your neck in a noose. I'm like Medusa, I've shown a motherfucker if he looks at me wrong. I'm a bull getting bitches with my swan song. I'm on point like Poseidon's trident, rhymes colder than the frosty balls of your time. Allow Thor to retort, you shape-shifting rapist. I get a taste of the Scandinavian greatness, brought forth by my rage and thunderstorm force. Cause I don't get nice, I get Norse. Valhalla at your boy and we'll fight it out. But keep your ass guard up, I Ragnarok the house. You tongue kiss your sister, that's grosser than a gorget. I'm the thunder down under nailing Natalie Portman. Who would ever worship someone as abusive as Zeus? You're ruthless to humans, your crew is like the clash of the douches. Ruling over the Greeks, of people weak and fright. I'd spit in your face, but you'd probably like it. Only a mindless fool would knock the fathers of philosophy. My Greeks built the bedrock of democracy. With astronomy, they charted out the movements of my kin. All the pimps are Mount Olympus and me the kingpin. Let this sink in, I'm about to rain on your parade. Easy trigger finger quicker with the bolts and you say your history.